Yo, welcome to another YouTube video. I'm back with another video. I want to review the latest album from A Tribe Called Quest. Anticipated. It calls Take It Here. We got it from here. Thank You For Your Service, which is their first album in 18 years. It's their last album after the death of Phife Dawg. R.I.P. to Phife Dawg. Definitely a great group, dropped great albums. Their first album was classic. Then we had The Low End Theory, again another great album. Midnight Marauders was another good album. I also like some tracks off The Love Movement, not heard the whole of that album yet. And they had some other albums out, but this is their latest album. It starts off with the space program, where he's talking about the black community and a lot of the stuff that goes on, and saying that society takes for granted all the good things that they do and what they contribute to society. And he talks about actors, he talks about rappers, he talks about a lot of different things. And he's saying how they would get, if there was a space program, they would get left behind. And it's about them not being appreciated within the society we live in. That's what I got from that track. And he talks about the media as well. He talks about awards. He talks about a lot of different attributes to that. And the beat gives you that sort of feel to the song, with that space program type feel to the song, which I think was a very good way and good artistic way to make the song. Then we have We The People. Again, he's talking about the media and how it's over-sexualized, I think. And no, that's the next track. We The People, he says how everyone has their similarities, and even though the media, and there's a lot of racial issues going on in America, and he's talking about all them issues with the police and Donald Trump and election, and saying basically some of the controversies going on there in America at this present time. And yeah, he's saying that we all like the same food, we all eat, we all have certain characteristics similar. That's what I got from that song. Then we have Whatever Will Be. That's where he's talking about the media, saying how everything's over-sexualized these days with the music, and how the media portray a lot of the rappers and drug deals, and there's not much, there's a lot of stereotyping due to like the hip-hop. And he talks about how there's not many positive rappers out there that's putting in a positive message. That's what I got from that song. Yeah, that's what I got from that track, really. It's about that. Then we have the Solid Wall Sound. Is basically a musical sort of track. He's rapping like braggadocious on the fast type. It's a very chilled beat, very good song to chill out to. Music on point, very slow, melodic type production, with a good drum, good sample. I think that's the track that samples the Elton John song. That's what I think that is. I remember. I think that was a good song, definitely like it. Less political than the other tracks, and less onto the context that's going on in the previous tracks. Then we have This Generation. He's talking about the generation we live in, with the USBs, the new technology. He talks about what it's like for youngsters growing up in this day and age. He talks about and new rappers that are coming out, like Kendrick, J. Cole, Joey Badass, how they are still keeping that hip-hop flavour alive, which I think it's a really good song. I like this track. Then we have Kids. He's basically talking about how their mentality is, saying how they don't want to go to school. Then he also is like saying they don't see reality the way it is when they grow up, sort of thing. And he talks about adolescence, where they come home, they don't say hello, and they just outdoors and all that. He talks about that. And he says that the parents were once kids themselves as well, doing the same thing. So that's a really good song. I think very creative. The production was alright on that track as well. We have Melatonin, which is about how people think. It's about society, our thoughts, how we see the world. He's talking about how he sees things that are going on within our society in the media, a lot of the world's issues. And Whenever We'll Be, also, he did touched on that as well, where he's talking about poverty as another crucial element. He talks about a story on the third track about someone who was in prison, come out, and there's a lot of storytelling on that. And Melatonin is basically on the same wavelength about poverty and stuff like that, really. Then we have Enough, which is more of a love song on this album. Really, it's a good song. I like it. I like the production on it. Really great song. Like vocally, it's pretty good. Then we have Mobius, where he starts talking about the awards. He's more of the peaceful less aggressive, very like soft production, softer sound to it. I really like that. So then Mobius as well, and it talks about the media. And then we have Busta Rhymes that just goes in aggressive with a gangster type feel to the song. I like that about Busta Rhymes. He's really hard on the track. Then we have the next song, which I'm trying to find it hard to read, but basically he's talking about growing up in the hood. He's talking about the days with the crack, and when crack was very popular in the hood, in the ghetto, in America. He talks about how about knowledge and dropping science, and he's really trying to analyse what's going on, basically. And I think that's what I got from that song, and it's analysing the ghettos, and he talks about his life growing up compared to today, I think. Then we have The Killing Season, which is talking about all the great leaders that died, like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and all that, saying they're soldiers. And he also talks about the recent killings that the police have been up to in the communities, the people that have been unarmed and killed by the cops. He talks about that. Also, he's talking about a lot of justice for everyone, basically, and talking about all the stuff that's going on, all the controversy there in America. Great song. Then we have Lost Somebody, which is a tribute to Phife Dawg. I like this song, Phife. Again, it's a very nice, mellow song, great soulful production on it, and I really like this track. I really do. Great way to say RIP to someone. Talks about what kind of person he was. And then we have Moving Backwards, featuring Anderson .Paak, is on this track. His singing's amazing. I like how he delivers his vocal range. The rapping is good. He's talking about how society's moving backwards and backward thinking, and he's not with all that, saying we should be moving forward in the correct direction. And he's talking about positive mindset. He talks about wanting rappers to rap more about positive lyrical wordplay. That's what I got from that song. Then we have Conrad Tokyo, featuring Kendrick Lamar. This is a great song. I like this track. Really, the ego is basically, he's talking about, how the id, you have the id, ego and super ego. The id is basically the one that's too one way. The super ego is too much the other way, and the ego is in the middle, and we make decisions based on our ego. It balances out our thought patterns, and that's what that, and he talks about decision making used because of the ego. I think that was a really about healthy eating. He talks about going to the gym, all that. He talks about with the ego and the theory with the id, ego, super ego. I studied psychological thing as part of the course. So yeah, so I know a bit about that. Then we have the Donald is the last track, another tribute to Phife Dawg. Really good song. Again, more traditional hip hop production with the DJ scratches. I really like this. Really good song. I like that. Yeah, so got it from here. Thanks for your service. They've been great for hip hop, and I want to say thanks to A Tribe Called Quest for the service you provided in hip hop. The great music, great albums you put out. It might be their last album. I really have enjoyed a lot of the music that they have delivered. Like I said earlier in the video, thanks for your services to hip hop. Enjoyed your music. I give this album rating. I'd give it an 8.5 to a 9 out of 10, this one. At the moment, yeah, I think this album's really good. So, my review,